Today on the Sartorial Chef, it is a Memorial Day potluck. First, I'm doing a fun take on the egg salad sandwich, putting it on bruschetta with bacon. Next, I'm updating the classic carrot salad and giving it an Asian twist with pineapple and macadamia nuts. Lastly, for dessert, it is a classic strawberry pretzel salad, but I'm showing you an easy no-bake recipe. And last but not least, I'm doing a fun poolside cocktail with coconut rum. So why don't you pull up a chair and dine with me?
Everybody, I am just frying up some bacon here. We are going to be doing a kind of breakfast take on some hard-boiled eggs. I've also got my eggs going here. I've just got about 7 eggs here. I'm not making a whole lot. And what I like to do with the eggs, I like to start in cold water, and then I get the water going. As soon as your water comes to a boil, you're going to take it off the heat, and you're going to chill it. That's going to stop the cooking process. And it's also going to cool the eggs so you can peel them. And this bacon I'm just rendering down. I want the fat from this, and this is just some bacon that I've chopped up. Now, what I love about this time of year is the weather's nice out and everybody is having parties and having get-togethers, and it always gives me an excuse to whip up some dishes. And I'm usually the go-to guy when it comes to food because everybody else I know, they're good at bringing chips and liquor and plates and napkins and whatnot. So I thought I would try and do something a little different. I try not to repeat myself too often. So I thought, deviled eggs, been there, done that, but let's do something different. I thought I would do a breakfast take on some deviled eggs here. So I've got about a cup of mayonnaise in this bowl. This is going to be our filling. And I'm going to do about a tablespoon of some Dijon mustard. Then I've got some pepper here. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to do a couple teaspoons of salt. I'm going to take this bacon off the heat. It's rendered down nicely. And our eggs are getting there. I'm going to go ahead and turn them off as well. And the eggs, I'm just going to set these in my freezer. Now I know what you're thinking, eggs in the freezer. Well, I'm only going to leave them in there about 5 minutes. What that's going to do, it's going to kind of blast chill them. It's going to stop the cooking process. And it's going to cool down the outside as well so you can peel them more easily. So I'm just going to whisk this together real quick. Okay. And this is going to be the base of our filling. Now I'm going to add my eggs to this. And then we'll fill our shells with them. Now for the bacon, I'm going to pour about half of this in, and I want the grease and everything because it's really going to kind of make this luscious. Now I'm going to save about half the bacon as a garnish on top of the eggs. So let's see, about half of that. This I'm just going to set aside for now. I also need a little paprika. This is just a Hungarian paprika. You can use any kind you like. This I like because it's kind of it's bigger pieces. You still get kind of that flavor, but it's not like that powdery red stuff. So, and we're just going to do about a teaspoon of that. And then we're just going to stir this together. That is looking pretty good. We're just going to set that aside. Alright, I've also got some hot sauce here that I just want to do. And I'm just going to do a couple dashes here. I don't want too much. I'm going to stir that in. I just wanted to give this a little zing. You don't have to add it, you can add it if you want. Add as much or as little as you want. Okay, and this smells delicious. I cannot wait to taste it. So, let's get rid of this. Alright, eggs are ready to come out. I'm just going to drain the water. And we'll get my cutting board out. I'm going to show you a really fun trick to peeling eggs. What I like to do, some people will crack the egg, but I kind of like to do, it's kind of like a smash and roll. So I take the egg and I thrust it down and I push like that. And what you'll see is it splits the shell in half, and you can go like this, and your egg comes right out, and it's nice and clean. And then you don't have to do all that needless peeling. So we're just going to go ahead here and peel the rest of my eggs. The trick is you're getting into that membrane, which is what's holding the shell onto the rest of the egg, and you can kind of see it there. And then your peel just slides right off. And then I'll keep my pan here to throw my discarded shell into. Right, now I just need a knife and a spoon here. I'm going to cut these in half. This is exactly what you want your eggs to look like. Just nice and beautifully done on the inside. Okay. Then I'm going to take my spoon here. We're going to scoop out the yellows of the egg and throw that into our mayonnaise mixture here. And if they're cooked properly, they should slide right out. Alright, that should be enough eggs. Then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to chop up the whites. Planks and then dices. They don't need to be, you don't need to chop them too thinly. I just want them kind of smaller. Now see, the yolks, you can put the yolks in as is because they're going to break down when I mix them up. But the whites will not, so you have to kind of give them a little bit of a chop. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to slide these right on in. To come back in here with our whisk, and I'm just going to kind of break this down. I'm going to go through the yolks of my eggs and just kind of break up those yolks and kind of incorporate everything together. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now if you wanted to, you could eat this like an egg salad, which is kind of what I've got here. And I just, again, I wanted to do something different than like the traditional deviled egg or egg salad. Okay, and I've got my bread here. These are just like mini little baguette pieces. I'm going to throw them into my toaster oven. Alright, I've got my mini baguette pieces here. I'm just going to drizzle a little oil over them. And I'm going to use my toaster oven. They're going to go in here for about 5 minutes. They're going to get nice and golden brown, and then we're going to cut them up and assemble our sandwiches. Alright, the bread is ready to come out. Yes, you can see this has gotten nice and beautifully toasted. I'm just going to set that down here. And I've got my knife here. We're just going to stand these guys up. Now be careful, they are a little hot. And I'm just going to slice them down the middle. I find it's easier if you stand them up, especially with them being hot still. And I toasted these. I wanted a different texture. The bread's kind of soft, and I didn't want like the mayonnaise and the soft bread, and I thought the crunch of the bread would play nicely with the crunch of the bacon. Okay, that is our bread. I'm going to arrange these in kind of a semicircle. And this is going to make several little sandwiches. And then we're just going to take a spoonful of our egg mixture here, and I'm just going to plop that right on top. And we'll come through and do the next one. And we're going to come back in and we're going to take a little of this bacon. And drop it right on top. The bacon adds a nice textural component, but I also like people to be able to see what's in the dish. Okay, so here we are, my little deviled egg sandwich crostinis. And I'm just going to give this a taste. Oh guys, that's amazing. The bacon is so luscious. Having that bacon fat in there it's indulgent, but it's so good. It's heavenly. The crunch of the bacon, the mustard, the salt, the pepper, the paprika, all harmonious together. Absolutely delicious. I know everybody at the party is going to love those. Welcome back, guys. We are moving on to my next dish, which is a update on a classic carrot salad. Now, carrot salad, it's usually just mayonnaise, some seasoning, and some raisins. But I thought I'd give it a little bit of an Asian twist today. So I'm just dicing up some pineapple here. And this is just a fresh pineapple. I went ahead and kind of stripped. And the thing with pineapple, you just kind of go around the sides and get rid of that outer exterior. And you're good to go. And then I just sliced it into wedges, and then I'm cutting it into strips and then dicing it. And you know, around the summertime, everything's in season, so I like using fresh ingredients. You can always do canned pineapple if you want, but I wanted everything to kind of be fresh, so that is my pineapple. Kind of doubled this recipe today because I'm feeding quite a few people. So I'm going to move on to my dressing next, and then we'll just throw everything in and toss it together. So mayonnaise here, I've got about 2 cups of mayonnaise here. It's going to be pretty much the rest of this container. Okay, now to this, I'm going to do a couple tablespoons of lime juice. And I've got some ginger here. I'm going to do about a teaspoon of the ginger. Ginger's a little strong, so you don't need that much of it. And since we're doing the dressing, I'm using just a minced ginger here instead of the fresh. And then some seasonings here. I've got some salt, a teaspoon of salt, about half a teaspoon of black pepper, and a little celery seed, about a half a teaspoon of the celery seed as well. And we're going to bring in my whisk here and whisk this together. It's just going to be a nice bright dressing. The ginger and the lime is going to really zing here, and then we'll just throw everything in. I've got my pineapple here that's going to go straight into the bowl. I've also picked up a few little bags of carrots. You can always take real carrots and grate them or shave them if you want, but I kind of wanted something a little less fuss. Okay, that is our carrots. And lastly, I've got some raisins here. So I'm just going to throw those in as well. And the last thing, some macadamia nuts. What I like about these, they're going to give the salad a nice little crunch, and that's just about a half a cup. They also have a nice little salty flavor, so it's going to give us a nice balance to our salad here. And then we're just going to come in here with my spoon. And I'm just going to kind of fold this together. I want everything to get incorporated into the dressing. That is my carrot salad. Doesn't that look delicious? Nice, bright, and colorful. And before I take it next door, I think I'm going to give it a little taste. So good. The lime juice kind of comes in, mellows everything out. You get a little heat from the ginger, some sweetness from the pineapple, the raisins, the carrots, they'll play nicely together. And then you get the crunch of those macadamia nuts. Just adds a nice textural component. So good, you guys. Absolutely delicious. Next, we're going to move on to dessert. It is a classic strawberry pretzel salad. Okay, guys, it is dessert time. And it is a classic strawberry pretzel salad. This is a pretty simple recipe here. I've got my pretzels here, have just come out of the oven, and I've just poured a stick of melted butter over them and about a half a cup of sugar, mixed it all together, threw it in the oven for about 5 to 8 minutes at 400 degrees. And then I've kind of let them sit here and cool a little bit so I can work with them. They're nice. They're a nice little snack as is, but we're going to put it together for my salad. So I've got a 13.9 cake pan here. I'm just going to spray it down, keep everything from sticking. I've also got the water going for my Jell-O. This is 2 cups here, and I'm just following the recipe on the pack of Jell-O. And I'm going to take my pretzels here, and I'm going to do a nice even layer of pretzels on the bottom. Now you could go out and buy like a Cool Whip or something like that, but I always like to make my own because I know exactly what's going into it. So I've got a pint of heavy cream here, and then we've got a block of cream cheese, and this is softened. I've been letting it sit out. I like to try and let the cream cheese come to room temperature because it's going to be easier to incorporate into our mousse here. take a knife here and I'm going to cut this into thirds so it's easier to break down here in the food processor. To this, I'm going to do about a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, and we also need about a half a cup of sugar for sweetness. Put the lid on and pulse this baby up. Okay, there's our dip. Let's give it a little taste here. So good. Sweet and creamy. So we're just going to layer this. I've got my spoon here. I'm just going to come in here with my spoon and dollop this out. Actually, let's go ahead and take this whole guy off here. And I'm just going to empty this guy out. Okay, then we'll just come in here and we're going to smooth this guy out. We want to take it all the way over to the edge. While I assemble the rest of my ingredients, I'm going to pop this in the freezer to help it kind of set. Alright, while I wait for my water to continue to boil, I'm just going to come in here and dice up my strawberries. I'm just going to slice them one way and then again the other way. These are pretty big, so we can get many pieces out of them. Okay, that is all my strawberries. Throw these guys in here. And our water is ready to go, so I'm going to grab my Jell-O here. I got 2 packs, and we're just following the recipe on the Jell-O here. It's 1 cup of boiling water, 1 cup of cold water. I'm using 2 packs of this. I've got 2 cups of boiling water here. I'm going to go ahead and turn it off the heat. And I've got my whisk here. And we're just going to tear this guy open and dump it right in. And we'll dump in our other here. And you just want to whisk this really quick and dissolve all of that gelatin. pretty good. Then we just need 2 cups of cold water. That's 1. And here is 2. Good. Okay. Then we're just going to come in here with some clean hands. I'm going to grab these strawberries. And I'm going to dump them right into the gelatin. Now this is going to go into my fridge for a little bit until it starts to set some, and then we will pour it over top of our whipped topping. Our base and our berries have been chilling for a while. Now I'm just going to take this, I'm going to ladle it right over top. I want to be gentle with this because I don't want it to splash and make a mess. I'm just going to take the ladle here, and I want to make sure I get strawberries all over. I want each bite to have a nice fresh strawberry in it. Okay, and I'm going to kind of come in here and spread this out a little bit. Okay. And then we're just going to carefully ladle on the rest of this jello mixture. Nice. And if you notice that you've got some of the gelatin here at the bottom of the pan, you just want to make sure you get that out as well. Okay. Okay, this looks pretty good. So we're going to cover it up and we're going to stick it in the fridge. And you really just need to leave this in long enough for the jello to set, which is going to take a few hours. But I'm leaving it in overnight because we are not partying until tomorrow. I will see you guys for the party, and I'm also going to show you a fun cocktail. Stay tuned. Alright, it is party day, and I have got just one more thing left to do before I head over, and that is a simple cocktail making. Now, like I said before, we're feeding lots of people, so I have a huge, like, Gatorade jug of, that I'm going to be making my cocktails in. I'm going to start with the liquor first. I've got 2 bottles of coconut rum. We're just going to pour the whole thing in. There's 1. And here is 2. And then to that, I have some orange juice here. I try to get without the pulp, you know, when I'm doing cocktails. We're just going to do the whole jug of OJ. I also have some mango juice here. I'm going to do the whole container of the mango juice. And lastly, some pineapple juice. I like the canned pineapple juice. It's 100% juice. All these juices, I try to go with 100% juice, or at least being a little healthier and offset the liquor. And we're going to dump this right in. Okay, and that should fill this baby about halfway up, which is exactly what we want. And I'm just going to give it a little stir. It smells really good. The mango, the pineapple, the orange, nice tropical flavors. A perfect drink for this time of year. And before I take it over, we're going to give it a little taste. I'm just going to pour pour a little out here just to make sure that it's tasting good. Nice. Got the subtle bite of the coconut rum. The orange juice, the pineapple juice, everything goes together. I like a cocktail where the liquor isn't necessarily assertive, but you do want to be careful because these will creep up on you. But I am going to put my lid on, and I will see you guys at the party. Guys, we're at poolside, and it's time for our desserts. So good. You get the crunch of the pretzels, then you get the sweetness from the tomatoes, and the whipped cream. Absolutely delicious. So good. I want to thank you guys again for dining with the Sartora Chef. Until next time, this is Sartora Chef, signing off.